Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. My thought for you that I've been living with this week is on discovering what it is that your self, deepest self, is really asking for, right? And if you were in class with me on Wednesday, I was explaining how most of this past week, my daughter has been just fighting with me all night about going to sleep and asking for all sorts of things, right? All sorts of things. And specifically, she always wants an orange. And so I was saying on Wednesday that what we learn, or what I have learned, from working with a toddler or living with a toddler, is that what we ask for externally is rarely what we really want, right? And so she's asking me over and over again for a million different miscellaneous things. And none of it has anything to do with what she's really asking for, right? What she really wants. And so it occurred to me that this is what we do to ourselves all the time, right? Is that we have this huge separation from what we actually really need to feel secure and safe and real in ourselves, to feel that there's a love that is consistent and true, right? Whether it's from a parent or from that vaster, bigger source, doesn't matter. But there's a disconnect, or there's these layers between that feeling that is real and what we keep asking for or reaching for, thinking that it's going to make us feel better, right? So the same way my daughter, who is probably really just struggling with feeling secure enough to be able to go to sleep on her own, is demanding that she needs stories and water and this and that and oranges. I need an orange in the middle of the night. No, you don't, right? We're exactly the same. Right, is that what we're calling for on those deepest levels is we reach for things that are disconnected, right? And then time after time, we keep reaching for those things and we're sure that maybe this time it's going to work. And we reinforce those layers, right? That I keep reaching for something that isn't really what I'm asking for, isn't really what I need. And then we have this sense of separation. And yoga says this is where our struggle is we build this sense of separation. And we keep thinking that if we grasp, right, at the right thing, it's going to take the place of that feeling of a love that's real, right? So our practice is to undo that. It's to undo that tendency to keep reaching for things that have nothing to do with what we're really asking for. Call that non-attachment. We call it a lot of things. But as we do that, we start to get clearer on what is your actual frame of reference for that love, that feeling of security, that feeling that love and connectedness to the world is real. What is it for you? Right? What is your language of love? How you need to receive it and how you need to give it. That's what we learn through this practice, is that love exists underneath all of those layers. And you have to find it for yourself. What does it feel like? So that you stop asking for an orange in the middle of the night and you give yourself what you really need. Right? Or you stop expecting the wrong person to make that feeling happen for you when they can't. Right? So this is our practice, right? What is your language of love? And can you live that more clearly in yourself where you can hear it? What are you really calling for, asking for? And then can you give yourself that and not grasp for the other thing, the coffee or the cookie or the person? Comfortable seat. Let your eyes close. So as you are sitting, let yourself breathe a little bit deeper into the base of your abdomen, into your belly. As you exhale, the breath just goes where it goes. With the inhale, letting it draw all the way down and wide into the base of you. And exhaling, letting the breath go where it goes. And just practicing that idea of non-attachment, that everything comes to you, right? The breath comes to you. You don't know from where, from everywhere. And you can feel it in your body. You can contain it in your body. If you hold your breath, you can hold it a little longer. But it's still going to go. It's still going to leave. No matter how hard you try to maintain it in one specific way, it's going to go. So we practice letting go of that grasping and saying the breath goes where it goes. But the next breath is already coming to me. The next breath is already here. So there's no stress. I let the breath go where it goes. We start to train the mind to be okay with everything comes to you and everything goes. Non-grasping. I will be present for this moment, but I will not cling to it because the clinging causes pain. Breathe deeply into the base of your belly. And feel how by breathing deeply into the base of your belly, it causes your breath everywhere else to become deeper. And the breath on the exhale goes where it goes. One more deep breath in. Exhaling all the way out, bringing the hands together in front of the heart center. Rub your palms because it's cold. Rub, 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 rub. Good. Nice, Mark. And then steady your hands at your heart, please. Let your thumbs touch your sternum. Lift your sternum up to meet your thumbs. So again, there's a conscious connection there. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. Stay seated, please. You're going to take your arms up to cactus arms, so elbows wide. And you're going to start to twist from right to left. Good. If you want to add the inhaling to the right, exhaling to the left, you can go for that. Otherwise, just let yourself twist and move with your breath. So it should be a fairly regular rhythmic motion. So don't go super slow unless your spine really wants you to. Try and move with your breath. That you inhale to the right, exhale to the left. Good. And keep those elbows up. Don't let them drop. So up in line with your armpits. Good. Palms falling back. Good. Keep going. Yeah, you can close your eyes if this action makes you feel a little motion sick. But go, go, go with your breath. Good. Keep going. Keep your seat steady. Nice, you guys. Try and find where there is the edge of that range of motion. And again, don't push it because it's, early in the morning, but definitely find where you are letting your spine move, move, move. Good. Nice. Couple more breaths. Move a little faster if that's available. And again, if your spine is demanding that you stay slow, stay slow. Good. Elbows up. Nice. And then slowly come back to the stillness, maybe keeping the eyes closed until everything begins to settle. And then stretch the arms up alongside your ears. Deep breath in. Good. Exhale, twist to your right, please. Left hand to right knee, right fingertips come back behind you. Good. Kapalabhati breath, deep breath in. And as you exhale, begin to just pump the navel on the exhale. Let the inhale happen. So exhale, 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 exhale. Deep breath in. Pause and hold the breath. Then exhaling, releasing the breath, coming back to center. Pause for a moment with the eyes closed. Just feel what you feel. Removing those layers from the mind that have accumulated, like the cobwebs we sometimes call it. In the wake of that, your pranayama practice, your breathing practice can be very powerful while you're doing it. But it's at the end, in that space at the end, that something actually happens, that you get that tangible feeling that there is bottom underneath you. There's ground underneath you, and it's not something you have to cling to. It's just there. And maybe it doesn't fit your definition of love at the moment, but that's the energy of that divine energy, universal energy, is that it's simply there. Go ahead, inhale the arms up to the sky, deep breath in. Exhale, twist to your left, please. Right hand to the outside of your left knee, left fingertips back behind you. And again, if the breath didn't make sense to you before, if you haven't done Kapalabhati before, it's an active exhale. So you draw the navel in on the exhale. Air goes out through the nose. Inhale happens passively. So you're just exhaling consciously. Deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. Breathe in just about halfway and then begin to exhale, 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 exhale. Deep breath in. Pause and hold. And then as you exhale again, release back to center. Eyes closed, feel what you feel. And then let the eyes float open and come forward to hands and knees. Now that you've moved the mind, you can move the body. Good. Come on to hands and knees. Do some cat and cow. So freeing up the spine in the other direction. So we did the right and the left, forward and back. Good. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, reaching through the belly, exhaling, curling through the back of the body. Beautiful. So this concept, and I said it on Wednesday too, and I still have not looked it up, right? I know that psychologically that someone has done the work where they have, categorized that there are at least 5 different languages of love, right? And that's the way that we, again, interpret. So some of us need to feel or experience love in a certain way to feel like it's real. And then for other people, that way of experiencing it is different, right? And so it's up to us to start to understand what is the language of love that works for you? What is the language of love that makes the most sense to you on that innate level? And so there's that relationship that you have with other people and how you show that love. And then there's a relationship that you have with the world, that what is your fundamental connectedness, right? And how does that need for fundamental connectedness get met? And it might not feel like love in the romantic sense or love between people, but we start to look for that it's beyond that feeling of what I grasp for to make me feel secure. And can I really just feel that ground that's beneath my feet? Good. Come back to stillness, please. Stretch your right arm out wide to the right. Slide that arm behind your left wrist. Right shoulder finds the floor. Turn your gaze. Walk the left arm forward towards straight, threading the needle. Good. Nice. Pressing into your shins. Good. Press into that right forearm, the right arm that's on the ground. So press into it so you almost feel yourself lifting away from that right shoulder. Good. You just decompress it a little bit. Nice, you guys. Good. Shoot that right butt cheek a little wider to the right, Lisa. There you go. And then come all the way back up to center, please. Hands and knees. Take your left arm out and wide. Slide that arm behind the right wrist. Left shoulder finds the floor. Right arm comes forward to straight. Good. And watching that your hips don't swivel out to your right here. So keep pushing the left hip wide. So you're moving your pelvis away from the twist. Good. You're keeping that steady, stable base so that your spine is able to revolve. Awesome. One more breath. Push the left hip wide. Good. And then walk yourself back out to hands and knees. Nice. Spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes, come back to downward facing dog. Good. And then take your right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Beautiful. Step that foot forward between the hands, lunge, drop the back heel to 45 degrees, come into warrior one. You could step that left foot wider to the left if you'd like. Arms come up. Good. Yeah, hips facing straight ahead, warrior one. There you go, Maria. Arms up. Good, you guys. Interlace your fingers, press the heels of your hands up towards the sky in your warrior one, and then start to straighten your front leg. As you straighten the front leg, pull up through your side waist. Squeeze your legs together, pull up, pull up, pull up, lift the front of your hip points. Good, and then keep that feeling of pulling up, pushing up through your arms, and then bend the front knee again, come back to warrior one without collapsing your side ribs. Awesome. Nice, you guys. Take your arms out wide, cactus arms again. Take a little twist to your right, and again, it'll be somewhat restricted because it's warrior one, but keep your elbows up. Good, and really spin that outer left hip forward, forward, forward. Work that spiral on the back thigh. Good, elbows up a little more, Susan. There you go. And then come back to center, please, maintaining as much of that twist as you can. So you bring your shoulders back to center, but your ribs are still trying to twist to the right. And then arms up alongside the ears, deep breath in. Good, and then take your torso forward, parallel to the floor, reach out. Good, still with that sensation that you're trying to lift your right rib cage a little wider to the right. So your left rib cage and left hip can still spin forward. Then squeeze your right butt cheek back. Good, nice. Now interlace your fingers back behind you, still parallel to the floor. Good, nice. Lift your chest a little higher. Lift the back of your throat a little higher. Lift those hands away from your lower back. You're not bowing any further. You're just staying right there. Good, pull back through the hands and lift forward through your chest. Awesome. Nice, Victoria. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good. Spin your back heel up, please. Take both hands inside the front foot. Good. Drop the back knee. Nice. Do some circles with that right hip. Good. I just realized hilariously, I have like every single V name represented this morning. There's a Victoria, a Virginia, a Valerie, and Veronica. It's crazy. Good. Nice, you guys. Come back to stillness, please. Good. Walk your hands to that upper left-hand corner of your mat. Separate your hands a little wider. Come up on your fingertips. Good. And then just let yourself gently with your exhale, bend your elbows wide and drop your chest. Good, and then coming back up, letting the arms come closer to straight, and then exhaling, letting the chest drop. So it's like you're doing pretend push-ups, breathing push-ups. Good, so don't make it about making your arms do a lot of work. Have it be about your chest widening and your arms actually sliding into the shoulder socket. Good, don't drop your head. Nice, you guys. So if you're following my toddler saga, you'll be happy to know that we've had 2 nights now where there has not been so much screaming at night. So I guess that means we're winning. I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Turned out that part of what was very necessary was I had to say no a lot more. It wasn't fun for me. Amazing, right? The language of love includes the word no. And that what we're looking for often is that feeling of security. And sometimes that means we need to have that little push that says, don't go that way that you're sure you want to go, that you think is going to make you feel better. Come back to stillness, please. Walk your hands back towards that front foot. Good. Lift the back knee up and then walk to your left until you come to the center of your mat. So you come to wide legs, Prasarita Padottanasana. Good. Parallel the feet to the short edges of your mat. Hang for a moment, hold opposite elbows. Good. Again, remarkable how much of the fighting or the insistence or the resistance, whatever you want to call it, was happening between just me and my daughter, not at all the same with her dad, just me. The language of love, where do you look for that feeling of security, stability? Who do you insist that it has to come from? And what way do you insist it has to come from for it to be real? Good. Let your hands come back down to the floor. Please walk your hands forward if you can. Take a nice wide-legged downward facing dog. And long enough where you can come up on your fingertips in your down dog. So I don't even want your hands to be flat. I want you to be up on your fingertips. Good, so that you're really drawing back through the thighs, you're drawing back through your pelvis, you're lengthening your spine by pulling back on the lower body. Good, so send those inner thighs back and really press into your fingers so you still have the armpit energy awake. right? Your chest is still lifting, but you're pulling back. Good. Nice, Laura. Nice, Valerie. Good, Susan. Both Susans. Nice, you guys. Walk your hands back in underneath your shoulders. Right hand plants, left arm comes to the sky, spinal twist. And if that left hand feels better at your lower back, keep it at your lower back. Good. And then release the left hand down to the floor, please. Breathe the right arm up to the sky, spinal twist. Pull the inner thighs wide. So watch if the knee is buckling. Good. Watch if one hip is swinging forward. Usually it would be the left hip here, so pull it wide. Good. And release that hand down to the floor. Nice job. Walk your hands back in so you can take your hands to your waist, come all the way up to stand. Good. Heel toe your feet a little closer to each other, please. Turn both feet out wide. Bend your knees, come into high squat. And then stretch your arms out wide, letter T. Take your right arm over top of your left, wrapping the forearms for eagle arms. Good. Diane, just draw your ribs back a little more so you're a little bit more vertical. There you go. Nice, you guys. I know. And then you're dropping the pelvis low and lifting your chest up. Good. Lift and spread your toes. Beautiful. And then straighten the legs, please. Stretch your arms out wide, letter T. It's your little breather. And then cross the other arm on top for the eagle arms and bend your knees, come back into the high squat. Good. Even though the thighs are going wide, your feet are squeezing towards each other and there's that lifting up through your hip points. So it's a lengthening of your spine. Push up through the crown of your head. Good. Ribs back, Diane. Same thing, Virginia. Good, Lynn. Awesome. And then slowly release, come all the way out, arms wide, turn your feet forward again. So you parallel your feet, reach back behind you, interlace your fingers, deep breath in, and then exhale, bow forward, taking the arms up and over any amount. Good. Squeezing through the upper arms, squeezing through the place, not just at the back of your heart, but at those wide places of your armpits. Draw your outer armpits towards each other. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. Right toes spin forward. Good. Step back to downward facing dog. Nice. Sliding forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down to your belly, rising up cobra or upward facing dog. Again, if up dog is part of your practice this early, go for it. Good. And then finding your way back to downward facing dog, lifting from your inner thighs. So even if you're not doing upward facing dog, your inner thighs have to be awake there. Good. If that didn't make any sense, we'll talk about it in a second. Left leg comes up and back, down dog split. Good. Step that foot forward between the hands. Nice. Back heel comes flat or comes to 45 degrees. Sorry, warrior one. Inhale the arms up. Good. So again, the pelvis is facing as much straight ahead as you can. So everything is moving from that back hip. That right hip has to spin forward for your left hip to rotate wide. If you try to do it from the other way, it's going to be more of a struggle, right? So you got to set the back leg first. Good. Interlace your fingers, please. Press heels of the hands up to the sky. Straighten the front thigh as you do that. So let the legs come to straight and then lift up through your hip points. So you get this awareness of making space between the front of your pelvis and the top of your thigh. Send that right hip forward in this position. Rotate your pelvis in this position. Good. And then stay lifted through your side waist. Bend the front knee again. Come back to warrior one with that feeling that you are drawing your belly away from your thigh as your thigh moves forward. Good. Nice, you guys. And then take the torso forward, please, parallel to the floor. I know we didn't do the twist. It's okay. Squeeze that left butt cheek back and in. Good. Reach your hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers at the low spine. Good. Keep lifting that left rib cage a little higher and wider. So imagine that you're doing that twisting position here. Good. Nice, Valerie. Good, you guys. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Nice job. Spin your back heel up. Drop your back knee. Both hands come inside the front foot. Start to make circles with that left hip. Yeah. Right. So it's a very strange thing to realize that our mind never significantly changes the way that it works from that toddler stage. right? We just add more layers to it. The thing is, who we are is always who we are. And the mind simply adjusts itself to our changing experience in the world, and that's what creates those layers. So you can imagine, right, at that age, my goal is for my daughter not to be 35 and be eating oranges in the middle of the night and have no idea why she's doing it, right? Because she's built up that association of, when I feel this way, I need an orange. When I feel this way, I need this. Instead of just going to, I feel this way, what do I need to go back to feeling loved, to go back to feeling secure? So this is every single one of us. And we've had years and years and years to develop these layers that say, I don't even know what I'm asking for anymore. I just reach for what I always reach for. And so I'm very comfortable in my discomfort. At least I know how I'm going to feel when I have that. Come back to stillness, please. Good. Hands inside the front foot. Walk to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Come up onto your fingertips. Separate your hands wider. And then again, begin to do those breathing push-ups, dropping your chest down on the exhale and letting yourself rise up on the inhale. And again, let it be about letting the chest go super, super wide. It's not about bending the arms. The arms bend to allow your chest to go wider. Good. Right. So that habit that we develop of substituting an actual feeling of love with other things is what creates the complex, right, in our mind that is what we call suffering, or that's what we call our illusions or our attachments, our aversions, or whatever, all the same words for the same stuff, your vrittis. But we have the ability to undo that if we're willing to let go of the grasp, the cling. But to do it, you also have to find where is the language for you that is that loving connectedness to the world. Because if you don't know what that is, the mind has nothing to gravitate to. It'll grab hold of anything and hang on. Come back to stillness, please. Walk yourself back in. Nice job. Lift that back knee, then walk to your right. Come back to wide legs, Prasarita Padottanasana. Good. Again, holding opposite elbows for a moment. Let yourself hang. Maybe sway from side to side if that feels good, or just stay where you are. Good. So your language of love is not just your language of relationship, but it's your language of connectedness. It's the language of what is your soul doing here, right? What fulfills your sense of being here in the world? And instead of grasping for the same things that always create the same patterns of I feel this way and then I need that, and then I feel this way and then I need that, and it never changes. Can you go a little deeper to what do I really need? What am I really asking for? Release the hands back down to the floor, please. Good. Walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. Left toes turn forward. And then step back to downward facing dog. Nice. So come up on your tippy toes in down dog, and then start to turtle into your middle back. So start to round through the back of your rib cage. You can drop the chin here if you'd like, but keep the back of your throat lifted. And then I want you to round yourself or pull yourself forward towards plank pose, but keep your upper back rounded as you do. Good. So as you come forward into plank, pause there. You can lift the back of the throat just a little bit, but I don't want you to stop rounding the back. And then I want you from that same place of your middle back to pull up through your inner thighs, pull up, butt to the sky, and push back to downward facing dog. Good. So it has almost nothing to do with your arms. Your arms are just a hinge, right? And then again, from that core area, pull up through your low ribs, roll yourself forward towards plank with your armpits coming over your wrist, but you're never fully collapsing into your arms. You can lift the back of your throat. And then from your inner thighs, pull your hips up and push back to downward facing dog. Good. Let the heels soften. You find the length of your side body. Good. One more time. Pull yourself forward to plank, lifting up as high as you can. Good. And then at the last moment, the throat can lift, but don't collapse into your arms. And then all the way up and back to downward facing dog. Move those inner thighs back. And this is what I want you to feel, right? When you're transitioning from the floor, from cobra pose or upward facing dog, is that that's what should be working, those inner thighs and that place of your middle back. Good. Come forward to plank pose, please, again, the normal way. Good. And then drop that right knee down to the floor, please. Turn your left foot flat. Take your left arm up to the sky. Open twist. Good. And then stretch that left arm over the ear, pressing through the left heel, reaching out through the arm. Beautiful. Good. And then pressing into that right hand, take your left hand to your left hip, press into that left foot even more, push that left hip up towards the sky, and then squeeze that right knee up towards your side body, pull that right shin up off the floor. So hover the right leg, so the other leg, Valerie. So those extended leg stays on the floor, you guys. Your bent knee that you're resting on, lift that up off the floor. Yeah. So as you're pushing down into that right hand, you got to pull up through that right side body, through your right armpit. Nice, Alice. Good. Nice, Maria. Beautiful. And then release that shin down to the floor, please. Beautiful. Come back to hands and knees. Good. Hands and knees. Do a little cat-cow. So work out the shoulders. Nice. And then come back to stillness, please. Stretch your left leg back behind you. Sorry, right leg back behind you. Should be the other side. Drop that right heel flat to the floor and take the right arm to the sky. Beautiful. Taking the right arm over the ear. So you can consider this preparation, right, for side plank. So if you're wondering, like, why are we doing this? I want you to work the energy of side plank here. So as that right arm comes over the ear, you're pressing through the baby toe edge of that back foot. So there's a feeling of lift. You're not dropping towards the floor, you're lifting. And that hand that's on the floor as you're pushing down, but your armpit, right, that side body, side ribs are actually engaged to pull up. Good. And then take that right hand to your right hip, please. Same thing. So you're pushing up through that side body, root down through that left hand, pull up through the left armpit, and then lift that left knee up off the floor. So again, the thing that's holding you, this concept, can I let go of what I think is the ground under my feet so I can actually feel what's beneath even that? It's not rock bottom, it's true bottom. Good. And then release that knee down to the floor. Good job, you guys. And then come back to hands and knees, please. Knees underneath the hips. Walk your hands forward to a modified downward facing dog. Good. So you're extended out a little further. Your hands are as wide as they would be in down dog. So don't drop your hips back to your heels, Valerie. Just keep them straight up. Good. And then cat-cow your spine with your arms extended. Good. So Valerie, knees on the floor if you can. Yeah, but arms forward. There you go. Just don't drop the hips back. Yeah, walk the arms forward a little more. Nice, you guys. Good. Keep the arms nice and straight, Lisa. So you're not letting the elbows bend, but you're really working the chest forward and back. Good. And then come to stillness, please. Maybe walking those hands out a tiny bit further so that you can be up on your fingertips. And then you're just letting the heart begin to melt towards the floor. So that same feeling of the breathing push-ups as you're keeping your armpits nice and lifted, but melting the place behind your heart, letting it drop towards the floor, letting your chest drop towards the floor. Keep your navel in. Good, but the chest just melts towards the floor. Good. Keep the arms as straight as you can in this position. Again, bending the elbows isn't a problem, but you want to have as much space in your upper back as you can have. Good. One more breath, letting the melting happen so the armpits are lifted, the sternum is moving up. Beautiful. And then walk yourself back in, hands and knees, and come back to downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Take your feet together, inner thighs together, and then coming onto the baby toe edge of your right foot, Vasisthasana, side plank. Take your left arm up to the sky. Good. So again, that pushing into the right hand, pull up through your right armpit, pull up through your side body, and then see if you can split the legs, float your left foot up off of your right foot. Good. Really good, you guys. Nice variations, Diane. Good. Release the foot back down, please. Come back to downward facing dog. Nice job. And then second side, slide forward to plank, upward push up. Feet together, thighs together, roll onto the baby toe edge of your left foot. Right arm comes to the sky. Again, any variation here of what I'm doing doesn't make sense for you, but really work that pushing through the arm that is touching the floor. So again, this is about connection. Good. If you're in that full plank Full side plank, float the right foot up off of the left. Good, really nice, Alice. Nice, Valerie, nice, Virginia. Beautiful. And then slowly release, good, Mark. Back to downward facing dog. Good, deep breath in. And then start to walk your feet forward towards your hands, please. Standing forward fold. Good. Bend your knees, take your arms up alongside your ears for chair. Good. Take your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers. Nice. And here, be aware in chair, right, that you're not pushing your ribs forward to make that happen. So draw those ribs in and send your tail back and down as the crown of your head pulls forward and up, same angle. Good. So lift your chest a little more, Virginia. Nice. And then go ahead and straighten the legs, drop the head here, take the arms up and over any amount, forward fold. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Nice job, you guys. Step your right leg back behind you, please. Drop that knee. Use a blanket underneath the knee if you'd like. Anjaneyasana, inhale both arms to the sky. Good. And turning the palms forward, you can make that little claw hand if you want, but a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows wide, pull your chest up, squeeze the legs towards each other. Good. And then inhale, reach long through the side body. Then exhale, lift the chest, pull up, squeeze the legs towards each other. Then inhaling, stretching the arms up. And exhale, pull down. So as the elbows draw down, your chest lifts and widens. One more time, inhaling the arms up. And exhale, pull down. Good. Nice, you guys. And then release the hands down to the floor inside that front foot. Walk to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Drop down to your elbows here if you'd like. If you want to, flex that left foot and let your knee drop wide. You're welcome to do that. Good. The contemplation is what is your unique, loving connectedness to this life, to this world. Because if we don't know that, if we don't know our own language of love, then we start running around through the world trying to find substitutes for it. And when one substitute doesn't work, we pick another one. And when that one doesn't work, we pick another one. And then when that one doesn't work, we go to therapy, and then we pick another one. And then when that one doesn't work, we pick another one. And eventually, most of us, we find one that sort of works and say, well, I guess I'll stick with this. And then when that doesn't work, we come to yoga. And yoga says, well, you better figure out what your language of love is, right? You better start figuring it out. What's beneath all of those layers of I've tried this and I've tried that, and everything says that I should be happy and I'm not. The ground underneath you is not what we cling to. What's underneath that? It's not rock bottom, it's real bottom. It's a real connection. And if that scares you, don't worry, it scares me too. That's why the mind grasps for other things. It's way easier. We think it's easier because it's what we're used to. Walk yourself back up, please. Nice job. Lift that back knee and step your right foot forward just a little bit so you come to straight legs, Parsvottanasana. Good. Nice job. One more breath, straight legs, forward fold. Good. And then bend that left knee. Please walk your fingertips forward, step up, standing split. Kick that right thigh to the sky. Good. Toes pointed down. Nice. If you'd like to, keep that right hand on the floor. Take your left arm to the sky. Take it into a revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Keep kicking that thigh nice and high. If you're happy there, bend that right knee, kick your heel in, reach back for the foot or the ankle. Good. So you got to switch your hands there, Mark. So it's a twisting half moon. Good. Nice, Lynn. And then extend all the way back out. Really good. And then release that right foot back behind you, please. Step back, downward facing dog. Vinyasa if you'd like, or take a rest in child's pose or Virasana. If you're doing the vinyasa, you're sliding forward plank, lowering down to your belly or into chaturanga, coming forward to cobra or upward facing dog. Remember your inner thighs, your middle back as you come up. Don't let it get to that weak spot in your lower back and be like, oh, that was hard. Really good. And then right foot steps forward between the hands, please. Lunge. Good. Drop your back knee, Anjaneyasana. Inhale both arms to the sky. So again, here, you're letting your pelvis go as deep as it wants to go. So you can let it move forward a little bit, but then you've got to draw back through your rib cage. You've got to draw back through the low place of your belly. And the arms are lifted, turn your palms forward. You can make the little claw hands if you'd like, or leave them just extended. Deep breath in. As you exhale, squeeze the legs, bend the elbows, pull your chest up. So you should actually feel, I should be able to see you just lift slightly. And then inhale those arms up to the sky. And then exhale again, elbows wide, pull up through your chest. Good. And inhaling the arms up, pull as long as you can. And then exhale, chest goes higher. Good. One more time. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, elbows wide, pull through the upper back. Good. And then release the hands down, both hands inside the front foot, please. Walk to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Come on down to your elbows if you can. Good. Again, you're welcome to flex that right foot and drop onto the baby toe edge, letting the knee go wide, or keep the foot where it is. Beautiful. The Yoga Sutra is in the third book, where it's talking a lot about, the experience of samadhi, the experience of samyana, being able to actually focus on one thing and have experience be revealed. It said that if you meditate directly, if you meditate completely on the heart, is you will understand the mind. So how about that? That everything that your mind is reaching for doesn't originate there, it originates at your heart. So the only true way to understand what you're asking for is not to filter through your mind and say, well, but this is what I always think is what I want. You have to actually feel it. What is going to create and maintain that feeling of connectedness to your life, to the world? It's a language of love for you. How do you need to feel it for it to be real? And how do you need to give it to feel like it's you? Right? That you are that loving energy. How do you need to express it? Because it's both ways, right? It's not just what do I need to get, it's what do I need to give? So only your heart knows that. Your mind can't know it. Your mind just grasps for whatever is the best possible substitute, next best thing. And then convinces us that that's got to be good enough. Walk yourself back in, please. Take that foot flat to the floor. Nice job. Lift your back knee. Then step your left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Good. Almost the same as warrior one here. So that right rib cage is lifting and widening. The back of your left hip, or the back hip, sorry, is spinning forward. Left hip spins forward. Good. Pressing into both feet. Nice, you guys. Lengthen your spine a little more so that your upper backs are not also rounded. Usually I don't mind, but sometimes we got to pull those armpits and our hips away from each other so your side body gets that full stretch. Good. And then bend your right knee. Please walk your fingertips forward, step up, standing split. Kick your left thigh up to the sky. Flexing the foot, toes pointing down. Good. And then optional here is to keep that left hand on the floor. Take your right arm to the sky. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. And then if you'd like, bend the knee, kick the heel in, reach back for the foot or the ankle. If you're reaching for your ankle, you have to roll that right shoulder open. It's not a choice. Roll it open. There you go. Turn your ribs. Beautiful. Throat back. Nice, Laura. Beautiful, Alice. Good, you guys. Slowly release, extend everything back out. Nice, and then step all the way back to lunge. Come back to downward facing dog. Good. And then drop your knees to the floor, please, child's pose. right? How ridiculous that sometimes all we really need to hear from someone is, no, don't keep reaching for that. I'll still be here even if you're crying. I'm not going to disappear because you did this or that or the other thing. That fundamental feeling of connectedness. What do you need for it to be real for you? And if it's never been real for you for whatever reason, start finding it now. Start meditating on your heart so you can understand what the heck your mind is trying to do. Direct it so that it can do it more efficiently. Good. Walk yourself back up, please. Come to sit. Take your legs out in front of you. Good. Legs out. Flex the feet. Right leg stays extended. Bend your left knee, please. Plant the foot inside your right thigh, knee up towards the ceiling. Good. Make a little space so that your left foot has, a little bit of space between your right thigh. Right hand comes back behind you. Left arm reaches to the sky. And then you're reaching forward fold with that left arm inside your left knee. So extend forward as far as you can. Good. So it should be, Virginia, switch your hands. Take your left arm inside. There you go. Good. So you're bending that left elbow, planting the hand on the outside edge of that left foot. That is one option. So you're wrapping that left arm around the front of your left knee. So some of you are reaching for your extended foot. There you go. Good. So the option is the hand can be on the floor, just pressing into the floor, or going for that full bind where you wrap the arm around the front of the shin and then reach the other hand back around to hold hands. Good. So you're either binding your left arm around your left shin, or you're keeping your left hand on the floor like you've got those wide spider arms. Good. Or wide cobra arms. You got it. I know Mark's looking at me like I'm crazy. Almost, Victoria. You got to have your arm wrapped in front of your shin. Got to lean forward, all the way forward. Bring your elbow inside. Yep. Keep your upper arm right where it is and awkwardly turn your hand back so that you can reach around to hug that shin. Yeah. Awesome. Close enough. And then come on out. Nice, you guys. I know that's a complicated pose. If you don't already know what I'm talking about, then the words are probably not making any sense to you. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Let your left knee drop wide, bottom of the foot to the inside of the right leg. Do something that you're all familiar with. Little twist to your right, bow forward. Good. Yeah, thinking about Lisa saying that she has that, spot in her shoulders or between her shoulder blades that needs to move. So binding, twisting helps to move all of that stuff. So if you need someone to blame, it's Lisa's fault. I'm just kidding. Let your mind be in a place where you don't blame anyone for anything. Don't even blame yourself. Just meditate on your heart. Walk yourself back up, please. Good. All right, let's try this on the other side. So stretch your left leg out, bend your right knee, plant the foot a little bit away from your left thigh. All right, so your right arm comes to the sky. So same arm as the bent knee, and you're leaning inside. So you got to bring that shoulder inside the knee and lean forward as far as you can. Good. And then try and hook your elbow against the front of your shin. Got that part? There you go. And then that arm is reaching around the outside of your shin to try and find your lower back. So you're literally squeezing your shin. You got it, Andy. That's right. You got it, Susan. Yep. Both Susans. You got it. You got it, Mark. Exactly that. And then you can turn your ribs open to the left just a little bit. Reach your left hand back and around like you're going to hold hands. Good. And if that doesn't work, again, you can keep the hands on the ground in those wide cobra arms, and you're just pressing yourself into the forward fold and pressing your arms back up against the shin. You'll still get shoulder and chest opening. You're just not rotating into the bind. Good. You guys got it. Beautiful. Keep the knees squeezing in towards your side ribs. It means that you have less room, that you are less diameter that you have to squeeze around. Good. One more breath, open chest here. Don't let the bind make it feel like your chest is stuck. Open your chest. And the arms will feel like they can come together easier. Good. Slowly release, please. Unwind. Nice job. Good. Let the right knee drop wide, bottom of the foot to the inside of the left leg. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Janu Shirshasana. Little twist to your left and bow forward. Good. The language of love for you is the one where whatever it is that you do is, you know that as you're doing it, what you're silently saying is, I love you. That's how you treat yourself. That's how you treat others. It's how you build that connectedness to the rest of the world. And it's unique to you. So again, my joke is that I haven't looked up those 5 categories, and I'm not sure that it needs to be done unless you're curious. Because your language of love is unique. Walk yourself back up, please. Good. Scoot yourself forward, please. Come onto your backs. Grab your block if you have a block. Good. And then my suggestion is a little supported bridge pose. So placing the block underneath your sacrum. If you have 2 blocks and you want it to be a supported fish pose instead, you're welcome to do that, placing one block horizontally underneath the backs of the shoulders and the other block a little higher underneath the back of the head. So that's another option if you have 2 blocks handy and you want to go that direction. Good. And breathe again really deeply into the abdomen, which will feel different because you have pressure underneath the lower back. The benefit of that request to yourself to breathe into the belly means that you're going to breathe into a wider capacity of your full breath, because you're not relying on just what the normal, my breath goes where it goes, right? Which for many of us, again, the trained habit is we breathe more into our chest than we breathe into our belly. And if you watch a baby breathe, they breathe totally into their belly. So that disconnect that we have from what really is going to promote and sustain that feeling of security, fullness, stability. It's our real definition for love, right? In the universal sense, this is love. I'm wanted and needed and held in this world. So you breathe into your belly, not because it's going to create that feeling out of nothing. It's not magic in that way. You breathe deeper into yourself so that there's an awareness that the breath comes, everything is already coming to you. So the mind is allowed to let go of grasping for what it thinks is going to make you feel secure. You inhale deeply and you exhale, the breath goes where it goes. The next breath is already coming to you. We practice non-grasping with the breath. The exhale goes where it goes. Maybe in that act of deep breathing, you start to understand a little bit more of yourself, what you really are asking for, what you really need in order to feel that innate connection to the world. Maybe you start to understand all of the substitutes that you've surrounded yourself with. Then don't judge it, don't blame it, just understand. And maybe let go of one, ungrasp one. Couple more deep breaths. And start to remove the block from underneath you. Slowly bring the hips back down to the floor. Good. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Come into happy baby, drawing the knees wide, reaching for the ankles or the feet. Good. And then bring the bottoms of the feet together. Drop your heels towards your groin. Don't drop the feet to the floor. So still angle the knees up towards your armpits, but just drop the heels in. Feel your lower back get wider on the floor. So it's like you're in Baddha Konasana, but your feet are lifted. Good. And then draw the knees all the way together, please. Scoot your hips to the left, drop your knees to the right, spinal twist. Good, and bring your knees back towards center, scoot your hips to the right, drop your knees to the left. Reaching long through the side body. Again, the twist is not just about, can I get my knees to the floor? It's, can I feel the wideness of the back of my rib cage? The length of my side body from my armpit to my hip. Good. Come back to center, please. Squeeze the knees in, forehead up to meet your knees. This is Apanasana. So anything that is able and willing to move down and out, finish it, complete it. This is the pose for it. And then slowly release, stretching the legs out in front of you, arms alongside you. Settle for Shavasana, making sure that you are warm. Maybe you go back to breathing deeply, consciously into the belly. Maybe you decide to put your mind on your heart, meditate on your heart. Maybe you decide to suspend the mind completely. And just feel the ground underneath you. gently bring the awareness back to your breath, letting the body begin to stretch, move, whatever ways serve it well. As you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest and roll to your right side. And take a moment there like you're hugging yourself. And then begin to push the floor away to come back up to sit without losing that sensation that you are hugging yourself. And bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm, or whatever mudra has been serving you well. If you have hands together, thumb touches the sternum, sternum lifts to touch your thumbs. The practice is to remember that we have this feeling of separation, not because that is true, but because it's been built. It's been built out of habit. It's been built by grasping and grasping and grasping for things that have nothing to do with what we really are asking for. And it's great when we realize that. But there's still the undoing that's necessary to get back to that place where you comprehend what it is you're asking for. That you comprehend what it is that creates and sustains that feeling of fulfillment, that feeling of fundamental connectedness. We call that love. You're here and you're necessary and you're held no matter what. So it's up to you to do the undoing, to understand your own language of love, what you're actually asking for, the way you need to feel it for it to be real, and the way you need to give it for it to be real. We start with that first realization, right? That we're all eating oranges in the middle of the night for no reason. Every one of us. We think it's going to create something that it won't. So meditate on your heart so that you know what your mind is really trying to get. And you can maybe give yourself that love in a way that's more true, more real. Close with the sound of Om, deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week until I see you again. Stay tuned for more toddler adventure stories. I'm sure.